we hear from people, mothers, especially older mothers, who listen to all of the advice and become very confused as to what's the truth, how to best serve their child. And the really simple answer is listen to your instincts, your intuition, because you know the best.
And that means, first and foremost, spend time with your child and connect with that child and get to know that child. And then it just becomes a natural process.
Because children, even like adults, they all have their own idiosyncrasies, they all have their own quirks, they all have their own schedule of when they learn things, and we just need to get to know our children to see where they're at, and don't be worried about them if they're not doing something other kids are doing at a particular stage. Just always feed their strengths. That's what we were talking about earlier. Just get to know your child, get to know their strength, not what they're not doing so much, but what they're strong at. And so,
and the best way to do that is to spend time with your children.
yeah.
And listen to them.
Learning to them, listen.
Because they get so frustrated, just like you do, if you're not being listened to.
Right. Validate. If they're trying to tell you they have an interest, but you have an agenda, say you want them to play football or soccer, and that's where they spend most of their time, spend time with them talking in the evening before they go to bed. Just sit on the bed and talk, and let them talk and listen, and ask them if there's anything they want to talk about.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's just, especially in the evenings, because you can just spend time first reading to them, and that a lot of times will bring out talking. And if they interrupt the book, you set the book aside and you just let them talk. Let them talk, and you listen and respond to what they're saying.
Right.
And I'll tell you this, boys talk better if they're not face to face with you.
Yes.
They literally talk better if they're beside you, involved in an activity.
That's true.
You can get a boy to talk to you that way. If you sit down as a mother and face him and say, "Tell mama," the boy isn't always going to open up. So if you can find an activity, say the book is between you and you're looking at it, and while you're looking, maybe, or at the end of it, or you have an activity between you, I don't know what.
Working in the yard with them. I mean,
Oh yeah, you doesn't have to be at bedtime, I'm thinking bedtime, but yeah.
anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything, walking.
But if there's something that child wants to talk about during the day, and you're busy on the cell phone or busy,
Right.
that child's not going to talk about that later.
Right,
They'll
he's not
have
gonna remember
forgotten
it later.
about
Right.
Yeah, they'll
Right.
have forgotten, and it won't do any good to save it to bedtime.
Right.
So you have to put everything down and aside if you can, and say, okay, what is it that you want?
Right.
And having adult kids now, I can look back and say and see, I know that when you're in the middle of it, it's a completely different view. But now that we're looking back, we can see that there's such a finite time when your kids are little that I look back fondly at the times that I dropped what I was doing to spend time with them. Even though sometimes it was hard, you have your agenda, you have your schedule, you have to do things.
And you didn't want to take the time really to listen,
But there have been so many times it was so beneficial to do that. So looking back, I mean, I just see it was such a short period of my life that I had little kids.
right.
And I so many times I see moms at the park on the cell phone and their kids swinging all by themselves.
Right.
And I just feel so bad that you only have him there with you for such a short time.